What's up everyone, Jason with Heap of Jeep. Sorry it's been a while since my last video, having some issues here with the house and just trying to figure out where my family's going to be living month to month. So been a little focused on trying to get a house, but need to do some work on the Jeep today. Last week I just got a really bad misfire. Was throwing a code. Just saying random misfire, so I ended up changing the coil and the distributor cap in the rotor. Didn't get video of it, it was late at night and I was just trying to get it ready for work in the morning, but it seemed to fix it a little bit, and today we're gonna finish the rest of it with new plugs, new wires, and picked up a new fuel filter as well, because when I was crawling around under there one time I noticed that the fuel filter that's on it, I'm guessing, is the original fuel filter from 1996. Maybe, we'll see. But we're gonna replace that too today. So we'll get back to the floors and fixing all the rust here eventually. But for today, we're just gonna get it running good so that I can keep driving. Okay, I always suggest removing the negative battery cable. I don't think anything we're doing today is gonna require it, but just one of those better safe than sorry's. Since we're going to be going after the fuel filter first, I just came back from the auto parts store, so the engine's a little hot, and rather than trying to work around a hot engine, we'll go with the fuel filter first. So we're going to release the fuel pressure here out of the fuel rail. This is the Schrader valve where you test your fuel pressure, but just put a little rag under there. I'm just using some needle nose pliers to push it in, and using a rag to soak up any gasoline, but there we go. Hopefully you can see everything under here. That 10mm socket to loosen this clamp. Had to take a little PB blaster to it to loosen it up, but this is the clamp that holds on the fuel filter, so we're going to loosen that up. Then there's a hose clamp right there, and I don't know if this is factory or if this is somebody else putting this in afterwards, but this is how it is on this Jeep. So we're going to loosen up this hose clamp, and then have your bucket ready to catch the gas. There's a lot of gas in this fuel filter, so I got my little oil changing bucket all set to go. We'll slide that clamp out of the way and then start prying it off. And I don't know how it's hooked up on the back, probably another hose clamp, but we'll have to look at that. Should go without saying, always wear safety glasses, because I have no idea how far this gasoline's going to shoot out of here. We released the pressure, but there might still be some built up back here, so just have your safety glasses on and hold your breath. Oh yeah, and you probably don't want to smoke while you're doing this. Just goes without saying, probably, right? Okay, well, I got this clamp off here, but I can't get the hose off. It's corroded on there pretty good, so there's plenty of play in the hose. I'm just going to cut it, put a new clamp on it, and call it good. Alright, so there's a new fuel filter, got a new clamp, put on the hose, and we're just going to tighten it down. You might want to make sure you have a good flathead screwdriver. I don't know what happened to all my tools, so I'm just using my Leatherman's tool, which was in my pocket, and I had a flathead screwdriver, and that way I don't have to go searching for an hour, find something my kids ran off with. And we'll slide it into this hose. And before I put the bracket back on here, I'm gonna start the Jeep and make sure we don't have any leaks, because I don't want to have to take it all back off if I gotta get in there and replace one of the clamps. So I'm not seeing any leaks, so we're gonna call it good. And that takes care of the fuel filter. Okay, on to the spark plugs. Now, I'm not going to do every single plug on the video, just because it'll be real hard to get the camera in there. But we'll get one of them here. So this is a spark plug socket. It's got a little, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there's a little rubber piece down in there which will grab the spark plug and make it easier to get out and easier to put in. So I think this one's cylinder number 2, but it's just the easiest one to get the camera on. And there we go. Yeah, you can see the gap in there is just huge. This is a spark plug gap tool. They sell wire ones too. This one was just a couple of bucks, so I just picked it up. But yeah, it's measuring at 65.065, which is about twice as big as it should be. It should be 0.35 or yeah, 0.035, which that one measures right up to. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's not focusing, but take my word for it. So there we go. Condition of that one, I'm not an expert, but I mean, it looks okay. I'm not seeing any real fouling that I'm worried about, but so I learned the hard way one time. Always start them by hand, very gently. You don't want to cross thread these. Probably won't screw up the block, but screw up the spark plug, and then you have to find a ride to the store to get another one. Then we're going to replace the wires too. I'm not sure how old these things are, but they look pretty nasty. You can see that on the camera. They're just filthy and yucky. So then you just find the one in the box that matches up as close as it can. We'll put a little dielectric grease in it. Doesn't take much. Actually, there's already some in there, but we'll give it another little squirt. And then just follow the path that the old one was on. And there we go, and we'll just keep going, and I'm not going to bother showing the rest of it because it's the same rinse, lather, repeat, lather, rinse, repeat, whatever it is. Alright, well, all the plugs are changed, but while I was changing plug number 5, the heater valve right here, the little nipple on this plastic part broke right off. So what I ended up doing was running the hose from the water pump right back into the water pump, I guess. I'm not sure exactly, but just bypass the heater core for now so I can run down to the auto parts store and pick up a new, let me zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. So this unit here is all one piece. I'm not exactly sure what it does. I'm assuming it tells it when to feed the heater core, but yeah, it's broken. Napa, Advance, AutoZone, they all seem to carry one. There's a little local shop right down the road from my house, so I'm going to run down there and see if they have one. So here's the part we need to replace. Good news, it's only $20. Better news, after the spark plugs and the fuel filter and the new plug wires, the Jeep's running great. Now we just have to change this. This is the part that broke on the old one. It broke right there with me barely touching it. So I guess that's even good news, because if that had happened while I was out on the road, we'd be spraying coolant everywhere, and I wouldn't have known about it till it started overheating. So I'm glad it happened now, and shouldn't take too long to get it replaced. So let's get going. Okay, this just looks like a vacuum line, which it is. Alright, so let's get these hose clamps off. Okay, well, learn from my mistake. Put your drip pan under there so you don't lose, you're not spilling coolant on your driveway. There we go. Alright, so there's the old one. You can see where that just snapped right off. There's the new one. There we go. It's like, uh-oh for a second, but nope, they match up. So let's put her back on. I'm going to replace these silly hose clamps with some good ones. Okay, so put it on the same way it came off. Well, in reverse, but I'm using real hose clamps. As long as I've got enough. So then we'll just hook up the original that broke off. Pop it back in there. And then that just leaves the original one that went on the bottom. Will this hose clamp work? I guess we're going to stick with that hose clamp because it's all I got. Don't have enough of the others. And now, let's start it up. We'll turn the heat on and let any air that got in the system burp itself out. Add a little coolant maybe. And we should be good to go. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. Biggest lesson in this video was even the simple stuff, you can screw something else up. Don't panic. You know, that heater control valve, I didn't know what that was. I'd never heard of one. And so when it broke, my first thought was, great, gotta take it into a shop now. But then calmer thoughts took over, and I was like, alright, look up what the part is, look up how much it costs, see where you can get it. And I went and got one, and there we go. It took all of about 10 minutes to replace for $20. I mean, it's $20 I didn't want to spend, but again, it's better it happened now. The way it broke and how easy it broke, if that had happened on the road in the middle of nowhere, I'd kind of be screwed. So don't forget to check out our website, heapofjeep.com. I'm still sort of working on it, work in progress. I'm designing it myself because I can't afford to pay anybody else to do it. So not a whole lot there yet, but links to all the videos and the blog and other things like that. You can check us out on Facebook, Heap of Jeep. And yeah, please subscribe to the channel. I'll try and get back to the floors here as time permits. And if you're the praying sort, please keep my housing situation lifted up. The landlord's selling the place we're living in now. We've been living here almost 5 years, and it doesn't look like we're going to be living here much longer. So we're trying to buy a house, and one thing after another is sort of making that difficult. So keep us in your thoughts and your prayers, and as we get that straightened out, I'll get back to more videos on the Jeep here. But that's sort of preoccupied my mind. So thanks again. Hope you learned something. Stay calm if you make a mistake or break something else, because it is fixable. And we'll catch you next time.